Hi, this is Madam Pamita, and I hope you enjoy this clip from my live magic Q&A. If you'd like to see the full recording of the live magic Q&A, you can do so. All you have to do is be a part of my coven, and to do that, all you have to do is click the link below or go to patreon.com/Madam Pamita. I hope you become a part of my coven and enjoy this clip.
Hey, Nan has a question. I have a question about weather magic. Weather magic. There's a huge practice. This was really, when we talk about weather magic, we're talking about very old practice. I mean, weather magic was huge. It doesn't seem to be so much of a powerful or people specializing in it, let's just say, because we've gotten away from agriculture, right? It doesn't, I mean, in our distance from the agricultural experience, we've gotten less attached to weather, right? Oh, I'll just turn on the air conditioning. Oh, I'll just stay inside if it's, stormy outside. We don't really feel the impact that weather has on our crops or our livelihood that people even 100 years ago, 150 years ago experienced. So I have a question about weather magic. Instead of wanting the traditional desire for causing rain, I need to get rid of it. Any suggestions needed, especially since this is a new topic for me? I have to say, I'm not a weather magic expert. Why? Because I'm a city girl, right? So we don't really have a lot of need to like change the weather or to work with the weather. So I cannot really specifically address like what a spell to stop the rain because I don't do that kind of magic. But that magic exists out there. And honestly, if you look at older texts from the 1800s, early 1900s, those magical texts will have tons of weather spells. I just don't do them because I'm a city girl. I know it's a whole branch of magic that is not, city people don't really have a attachment to. It was people in agricultural societies who really needed, like, don't hail on my crops, make sure there's enough rain for my crops, make sure there's no scorching sun. So I know about, the spirits of the field and I talk about that, but in terms of like the actual spell work for stopping rain, I don't really know anything for that. I do know for starting rain, because I talk about that in Baba Yaga's Book of Witchcraft. I talk a little bit about weather magic, but there are whole, man, there are people that is their whole thing. And it's usually rural people and people who are farmers because that's who the weather is most important to. I mean, maybe I should be more doing more weather magic to really stop climate change. I mean, that's another whole other thing, but like to really get to people to be aware and stop doing the things that are creating this horrible climate change and all of the things that we're seeing would probably be what I would work on more than the actual weather itself. But if you look in books, you'll find texts that are tons of it. And even in Baba Yaga's Book of Witchcraft, I talk about starting rain though, because I talk about water and I talk about spindles. Like one of the things a spindle is used for is for bringing rain. You take your spindle and you put it in a glass of water and you put it on the windowsill, and that is to invite rain in. But that's the only weather spell that comes to mind that I have ever done because I did it for in preparation for writing that book. But this is not my specialty, so I would love to answer a better answer for you and have something right away. But yeah, maybe somebody in the chat also knows, and you can share some weather spells and spells to stop the rain. But I know for a fact that if you look back at some books from the 1800s about magic, you will find these books. So books that I can rattle off the top of my head that might have it, I can't guarantee. Anything that's traditional witchcraft will probably have something. So even modern day books that are gathering these older spells. So traditional witchcraft. Troy Press has great books on traditional witchcraft. They probably have some weather spells in there. Even if you look at Cunningham's Encyclopedia of Magical Herbs, you will probably find some herbs that are used for certain weather conditions because these are traditional spells. If you look at a spell book like The Black Pullet, which is an older book, or The Long Lost Friend. Those are two older books from the 1800s and 1700s. So those will probably have weather spells in them as well. Those are great places to start, and these are readily available books. They're not hard to find. So look at those books, and you probably find some good weather spells to stop it. But I don't have anything off the top of my head.